Hello and welcome to the Rare Record Room. I've been collecting vinyl for around 40 years now. I was buying records in the late 1970s and during the 80s through to the 90s and beyond, when records were no longer in vogue and proved rather difficult to find. My collection is mostly guitar-based music from the 50s through to the 90s, covering rock and roll, through rhythm and blues, beat, psychedelia, rock, soul, funk, punk and new wave, pop and Britpop. It comprises around 2,500 records, mostly LPs, although there's a few hundred 7-inch singles, EPs and 12-inch singles. Most original pressings or unusual versions, and my aim in these videos is to show some of the more interesting that I have, or at least the ones I find interesting. If you do too, please feel free to hit the like button and check out my other videos. Today we're revisiting the British rhythm and blues scene of the early to mid-1960s, and in particular focusing on the blues singer Long John Baldry and his first and only LP with his band the Hoochie Coochie Men, named after Willie Dixon's song Hoochie Coochie Man. Nicknamed Long John due to his 6'7" height, Baldry started out singing with Alexis Korner's groundbreaking Blues Incorporated. Baldry appeared as a featured vocalist alongside their regular frontman and harmonica player Cyril Davis on 3 tracks of their acclaimed LP Rhythm and Blues from the Marquee. The first of these tracks was Jimmy Witherspoon's Rain Is Such a Lonesome Sound, then a cover of Leroy Carr's aptly named How Long Blues, and the third Baldry track being a self-composition by Long John entitled I Thought I Heard That Train Whistle Blow. The other tracks on this LP include 3 original songs written by Alexis Korner, another Willie Dixon song, I Wanna Put a Tiger in Your Tank, and side 2 opens with a sublime version of Muddy Waters' I've Got My Mojo Working. Although this gives an impression as being a live album from the Marquee Club, with an energetic cover shot of the band on stage, it was in fact a studio recording of songs from their live set, the sessions taking place at Decca's Studios in West Hampstead, London. The lineup on this recording also included Graham Burbidge on drums, Spike Heatley on the bass and Keith Scott on piano. It was completed by the blues saxophonist Dick Heckstall-Smith, who would shortly join the Graham Bond organisation with Ginger Baker and Jack Bruce, then on to John Mayall's Blues Breakers, and in the late 60s he founded Colosseum, the jazz rock fusion band with the likes of John Heisman and Chris Farlow. Rhythm and Blues from the Marquee was released in November 1962 on Decca's Ace of Clubs label. Although it wasn't a commercial success, it is now seen as one of the most influential LPs of the British rhythm and blues movement. Alexis Korner is widely regarded as one of the founding fathers of British blues, and he played an instrumental part in the foundation of some of the most significant acts arising from the 60s R&B scene, including the Rolling Stones, the Graham Bond organisation, Cream and Free. Due to Alexis Korner's iconic status, all of the Blues Incorporated albums or his solo LPs from the 60s and 70s are collectible, and most of the 60s recordings are selling for hundreds of pounds. Rhythm and Blues from the Marquee was his first major recording, following a breathtakingly rare private LP at the Roundhouse, and this Marquee LP is currently valued in the guide at £120. After this, Baldry joined Cyril Davis's Rhythm and Blues All-Stars, and after Davis's sadly premature death in January 1964, the band was renamed Long John Baldry and the Hoochie Coochie Men, featuring Rod Stewart on vocals. Their only LP, called Long John's Blues, was recorded for United Artists that same year. Rod Stewart had simultaneously signed a solo record contract with Decca in August 1964, so for contractual reasons he did not appear on the album. It comprises covers of typical blues and R&B material from the likes of Willie Dixon, B.B. King, John Lee Hooker, Eddie Boyd and Jimmy Witherspoon. Track 5 on the album is Willie Dixon's Hoochie Coochie Man, of course, and the LP closes with an original song written by Baldry entitled Rock the Joint. It was issued in mono only on United Artists, who were part of EMI, with the catalogue number ULP1081. The label states made in Great Britain, with the text sold in the UK subject to resale price conditions, and the recording first published 1965 wording. The rim text states EMI Records Limited and carries an all rights reserved notice. There is no tax code near the spindle hole. The inner sleeve is a die-cut paper liner printed with the used Emitex wording, and it comes with a tracing paper inner. The album cover is a front laminated flipback variety and states patents pending to the bottom flipback. It is printed in England by Garrett and Lofthouse Limited, and the spine reads Long John Baldry but does not display the album title. It's currently valued in the price guide at £50. Unfortunately, this LP was not a great seller and it did not chart, so under the guidance of the influential producer and impresario Giorgio Gamelski, Baldry and Stewart formed a new band, Steam Packet, being joined by musicians Brian Auger, Julie Driscoll and others. They were a fantastic live act and a big live draw, but were unable to record any records together as their members had all got differing contracts and record managers. Baldry went off as a solo artist, covering some more pop and soulful material, and he recorded an LP called Looking at Long John in 1966, and then scored a #1 hit single with the radio-friendly ballad Let the Heartaches Begin in 1967. This concludes my brief rundown of Long John Baldry's 60s R&B recordings and releases. That's your lot for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did like the video, please make sure you subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.